Alright guys, so we're going to do square roots, and most of you are super good with this. This was something that you saw maybe grade 8 and you re-practiced in grade 9, so hopefully you're all set. But the reason we're doing it again this year is because you are doing it with your calculator, but you need to show your work. So you can't just basically check on your calculator what the square root of a number is and then just write it. You need to use the prime factors or else you won't get any marks. Okay, so we want you to prove to us how to calculate a square root. A square root is basically, if you want the square root of 64, you need to find two same numbers multiplied together to give you 64, and most of you know that that would be 8. Alright, so we're going to give you harder numbers, although I know some of you might already know the square roots or are really good with square roots, but you still, again, need to use the prime factors and show your work. Okay, so the first one, I want to find the square root of 729, okay? Using prime factors. The question will say this, using prime factors. So we're telling you in the question that we're not just looking for the square root of 729. Okay? So where you need to start off is by finding your prime factors. Okay? So finding prime factors using the tree. So 729, I need to think of two numbers that make 729. I mean, if I even think about it, I can just check what the square root of 729 is. It is 27 if I do it on my calculator, or some of you might already know that. But you still need to go through the work, okay? So 729 is an uneven number, so I'm not going to divide by 2. I know that it can't be divided by 2, but I'm going to try 3. And I get 3 times 243, okay? So again, I don't know what makes 729. I'm using my calculator. 243, I'm going to try to divide it by 3 again. And it gives me 3 times 81. And now we're working with friendlier numbers, okay? So 3 is a prime number, so I'm going to keep bringing it down, 3. And then I'm going to have my 81, which is 9 times 9. And then I have 3 times 3, and 3 times 3. Okay, so I'm left with 3 times 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 of them all. Okay, so I know that 729 equals all of these numbers. Okay, so I'm looking for the square root of 729. So really, I'm looking for the square root of all these 3's. Okay, and as you know, the square root is the pair of two same numbers. So if I pair them up, okay, if I pair up 3 times 3, the square root of 3 times 3 would be 3. So if I square root all of these 3 times 3, every time I have a pair of 2, the answer to that, the square root of 3 times 3 is 3. So I can say, well, I have 3, and I have another 3, and I have another 3. So the square root of 729 is 27. Okay? So maybe at the beginning I knew that it was 27, but it needs to be proven. Alright guys?